So phlebotomy, the exam is not hard. I'm just gonna say that off rip. The exam is not hard. You wanna know why many people do not pass on the first try? It's because they don't understand the concept. They don't understand that no matter how they word the question, the concept still remains. For example, let's take hemolysis. Hemolysis is the destruction of red blood cells, period. Hemolysis is the destruction of red blood cells. So, what that means is, if I shake it hard enough, if I shake my specimen hard enough before I spin it down or before I send it off, my red blood cells will be bursting. I'm just damaging my red blood cells, okay? So now when it gets to the lab and they want to run whatever test they want to run, I can't because most of my red blood cells are damaged, all right? So now that we understand what hemolysis is, destruction of red blood cells, how can I prevent hemolysis? Before I answer that, what is the color of my specimen if it is now hemolyzed? The color will be a tinged red, okay? Now, what is the normal color for serum or plasma if it is spun down? It's like a clearish yellowish color. So I know what it is. I know how it looks like if my specimen were to be hemolyzed. Now, what causes hemolization? Here we go. Excessive shaking or rotating the blood. Okay? Using too small of a needle with the respective vein size. So you have a beautiful vein, and I'm going to use a 23 gauge needle. Your specimen may be hemolyzed. Another one, using a small needle to transfer blood from the syringe to a tube. Okay? Drawing blood too quickly into a syringe. You know, whenever you're transferring and you push the plunger too hard. Hemolysis. All right. I know what it is. I know what causes it. I know how to prevent it if I'm trying, right? I'm not gonna do those things. If I see that you have a healthy vein, I'm gonna use my 21 gauge, 22, okay? I'm gonna invert gently, mixing the additive with the blood. Now, here's a question. If they say that my specimen is now a reddish orange color, what happened? The answer is my specimen is hemolyzed. All right, here's another question. You shook the specimen vigorously. What happened? The specimen is now hemolyzed. You see how the concept never changes? So if you understand, this is how you break it down. If you understand what it is, if you understand how to prevent it, and if you understand that those things can cause hemolysis, you will be able to answer any type of question that has to do with hemolysis. Any type of question. As long as you understand why you are doing the things that you are doing. That's it. Take that same method and apply it to safety and compliance questions, routine blood collection questions, special handling collections. Another one. Cortisol is a timed specimen test. Cortisol is a timed specimen test. So what does that mean? Anytime I see a question that says, my patient has an appointment at 3 p.m. They need to check for a cortisol level. But my patient has an appointment at 3 p.m. So they walk through my door at 3 p.m. Am I able to collect for a cortisol level? Knowing what I know about cortisol, cortisol is to be collected in the morning from 8 to 9, time sensitivity. Now, would you collect that specimen at 3, 4 p.m.? No. They could flip that question no matter what. Cortisol is supposed to be collected from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Those are the time that your levels are high, okay? So you need to know that. Just like, I'll give you a HCG. HCG is better collected in the morning, okay? When the urine is more concentrated, we want it. No matter what question they ask about HCG, that's how you will remember. Remember, okay, well, they need early morning urine. Okay, what do I know about urine? Should I leave it refrigerated if I don't get to it? Or should I just leave it on the counter? Well, I know if I let it sit there, bacteria can grow. So we start to think about all these things about urine. What do I know? And I guarantee you, you will pass the test. Now, let's say you still need a little bit more help on that concept. I do offer the phlebotomy study guide. I noticed that most people like the bundle because I add the Zoom in one-on-one where I go over everything and I explain this portion you need to know. Definitely take notes on this. Let me tell you, here's a snippet of what you're gonna, I go through all of that. Plus you have the study guide to go by. Okay? So, if you need help, come on in. I do have the phlebotomy study guide bundle.